Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be telling you about 14 horror and thriller books that are being released in February of 2022. So if you saw my most anticipated releases for January, you will know that I only mentioned 6 books, and those were the books that interested me personally the most. However, I got to thinking, just because they interest me doesn't mean that they will interest you all that much, and vice versa. So I thought, why not provide more options for more people? Makes sense, right? So I'll be going through these in the order in which they will be coming out, telling you a brief synopsis of each one, and tell you which ones really stand out to me. So let's get right into it. So these first 4 books are all coming out on February 1st, and I'm super excited about this first one. It is called Horror Hotel by Victoria Fulton and Faith McClaren. And I just want to take a moment and admire this cover because, oh my gosh, it is freaking gorgeous. I love the skull face coming out of the building. I love the neon lights. I love everything about it. And in all honesty, I want it just for the cover. So this is a young adult horror novel about a group of teen ghost hunters. They are YouTube famous, and they are going to stay in this LA haunted hotel. And they stumble upon something in the former room of a notorious serial killer, where they discover something unexpected, and they quickly realize that they are in way over their heads. So it sounds really good. I'm probably going to end up getting this at some point. So that is Horror Hotel. Next up is String Follow by Simon Jacobs. So this is a darkly comic suburban gothic story about a malevolent force who targets a group of Ohio misfits, harnessing their angst for its own sinister designs. So it sounds like this force is going to be playing on the vulnerabilities of these teens, and it wants one in particular who is Sara. She is naive and empathetic, and she may be the key to its success or its destruction. Next is one called The Violence by Delilah S. Dawson. So in this story, a mysterious plague causes random bouts of violence, and it is sweeping the nation. So 3 generations of women must navigate their chilling new reality in this moving exploration of identity, cycles of abuse, and hope. So Chelsea appears to be this perfect housewife and mother. However, she has been abused by her husband for years, and it's not until this plague comes along which causes animalistic rage and, it kind of turns them into zombies, but not really zombies. They are, I guess, killing people and stuff, and she decides that this might be the perfect opportunity for her to get out of her abusive marriage. So this sounds really thrilling, and I kind of love the simplicity of this cover. The last one being released on February 1st is going to be These Deadly Games by Diana Urban. So in this story, Crystal gets a message on a mysterious app which shows her younger sister bound and gagged, and a kidnapper is wanting Crystal to play a game. If she refuses, the sister dies. If she calls the police, she dies. So she agrees to play this game, and at first it's little pranks here and there, but soon it leads to murdering her friends or something like that. So she has to make a choice between her sister and her friends, and she only has 24 hours to do this. So this sounds really good. So the next 5 books are all being released on February 8th, and the first one is going to be The Book of the Most Precious Substance by Gran. So in this story, a mysterious book promises unlimited power and unrivaled sexual pleasure, and a down-on-her-luck book dealer, hoping for the sale of a lifetime, is offered the opportunity to travel the world to find this. And some of the wealthiest people in the world are willing to pay Lily a fortune to do so. Will Lily fulfill her own desires and join them, or will she lose it all searching for a ghost? Next is a science fiction horror novel which you've probably seen all over BookTube, and that is Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. So in this story, a woman and her crew board a decades-lost luxury cruiser and find the wreckage of a nightmare that hasn't yet ended. So it sounds like they hear this distress signal, they go and investigate, and horrific things happen. So I've been hearing great things about this one. I've never read a science fiction horror novel, but I would really like to read this one. Next is one that I've seen all over the place as well, and that is Echo by Thomas Olde Heuvelt, or however you pronounce it. So in this story, a travel journalist and mountaineer, Nick Grevers, awakens from a coma to find that his climbing buddy is missing and presumed dead. Now I say that because I saw another booktuber describe this. She has read it, and these are more than buddies, they are lovers. So I don't know why it's not being marketed as such, but it's interesting to know that these are gay men and they went to the Swiss Alps and they ran across something. Nick is claiming amnesia, but he remembers everything, and something has awakened inside him that threatens everyone around him. So this sounds really good. I might want to check this one out at some point. Next up is Cherish Farrah by Bethany C. Morrow. So in this story, 17-year-old Farrah Turner is one of only 2 black girls in her country club community, and the only one with black parents. Her best friend, Cherish Whitman, adopted by a white wealthy family, is something Farrah likes to call WGS, white girl spoiled. So when Farrah's family is threatened with foreclosure, she worms her way into staying with Cherish and her family. But Farrah's family is concerned. They think something is really wrong with the Whitmans and with Cherish, and once Farrah moves in with them, strange things start happening. Debilitating illnesses, upsetting fever dreams, and inexplicable tension with Cherish's hot-headed boyfriend, and a mysterious journal that seems to keep track of what is happening to Farrah. But soon everything begins to unravel when the Whitmans invite Farrah closer, and it's anyone's guess who is really in control here. So this sounds really cool. Next up is a translated work called Jawbone by Monica Ojeda. And this story is about 2 girls who are so close they are practically sisters, but one of them ends up being held hostage and bound and gagged in this remote cabin somewhere, I think by their teacher, who is also delusional and thinks she is her own mother or something. And I don't know, it sounds really out there and really creepy, and that cover is pretty awesome too. Next is the only one being released on February 15th that I know of, and that is called The Beyond by Ken Brosky. So in this story, a girl's brother goes missing, and she is concerned that he has fallen back into his addiction. So she hires a private investigator to track him down, and their search leads them to this coal mining town where nobody seems to want to help them. So she also enlists the help of this professor who knows the dark secrets about this coal mine. And the only way he's going to be able to help them is if he confronts his own creature that's hunting him. And that's really all I know about this one, but it sounds really good. These last 4 books are all being released on February 22nd. The first one of these is Only a Monster by Vanessa Lynn. So this is a young adult contemporary fantasy debut, and it is the first in a planned trilogy. So in this story, a 16-year-old girl is sent to stay with relatives in London. She falls in love with this boy, but she soon discovers that her family are actually monsters, and this boy is a monster hunter. And so she'll have to embrace her own monstrousness in order to save herself and her family, because in this story, she is not the hero. This next story is called The Haunting of Las Lagrimas by W.M.Cleese, and it is about a woman who is a gardener, and she travels to Buenos Aires in South America to restore this old estate for this family that wants to move back in there. But the locals warn her that it is haunted, but of course she doesn't believe them, and so her and her crew go and stay there and start fixing the place up, but they soon discover eerie occurrences, and it sounds like a really good gothic story. So if you're into hauntings and gothic stories, this might be the one for you. Next, we have Beneath the Stairs by Jennifer Fawcett. And in this story, a woman returns to her hometown after her childhood best friend attempts suicide at a local haunted house, the same place where a traumatic incident shattered their lives 20 years ago. So apparently 20 years ago, these two girls went into this place and something bad happened. And now, present day, one of the girls has attempted suicide and the other one has to come to find out what happened to her. So, pretty cover too. And to wrap up this video, we are going to end it with a bang with something you've probably already seen all over the place, and that is called Manhunt by Gretchen Felker-Martin. So in this post-apocalyptic novel, it follows trans women and men on a grotesque journey of survival. Beth and Fran spend their days traveling the ravaged New England coast, hunting feral men and harvesting their organs in a gruesome effort to ensure they'll never face the same fate. Robbie lives by his gun and one hard-learned motto: other people aren't safe. After a brutal accident entwines the three of them, this found family of survivors must navigate murderous turfs, a sociopathic billionaire bunker brat, and awkward relationship dynamics, all while outrunning packs of feral men and their own demons. So this is definitely high on my list of 2022 books to read. Love the cover, obviously. I'll probably want it just for that, honestly. Okay, so those are the 14 horror and thriller novels that are being released in February of 2022 that I thought you might want to know about. Which one of these sounds interesting to you? Have you read any of these? Do you plan on reading any of them? Let me know down in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. And also don't forget to hit subscribe because, you know, you might want to see what's coming out next month. And the month after that. And the month after that. Because I'm going to be doing these videos every month. I'm not going to be reading any of them this year, but I am keeping track because I will be getting some of these and reading them at some point. So out of this list, the ones that stand out to me that I would really love to read are Horror Hotel, Echo, Dead Silence, and Manhunt. Those sound really awesome, and yes, so we'll see if I get to them at some point. Well, thanks for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Come back and see me next time, and until then, keep turning those pages. Bye.